This is the Nebraska Greats, a weekly podcast as a service to the Nebraska Greats Foundation, which serves former collegiate athletes facing medical needs and financial challenges. Your tax-deductible contribution will change the life of a former college sports hero. Please give online at negreats.org. And now, here's your host, Jerry Murtaugh.
Now, Larry, this is Larry Tomlinson. He came here as a receiver, 1961, 62, and 63. Now, you came in here in 1960, didn't you, as a freshman? Am I right?
59.
Oh, 59.
60.
Okay, 59 and 60, and then you lettered 61, 2, and 3. Am I right?
That's right.
That's
go.
Right. All right. We'll talk about now, Larry. I have I read all the stats, everything on you, and you said you only had one big-time scholarship, and that was from Nebraska. Am I right?
Yes.
Give me a little background on that, Larry. How did this all come about?
Well, I was in school one day, as usual.
What school? Where were you at?
O'Neill St. Mary's.
O'Neill, Nebraska.
It was O'Neill St. Mary's Academy at that time.
Uh-huh.
And I get called out of my class and said there was somebody there to see me. And it was, I forget the guy's name now. Scarborough, yeah.
Yep, Coach
Scarborough was sitting in the office, and he says, I want to take you and your mom down to the bakery, and we have a letter of intent for you to sign. And I was flabbergasted because I never had received any type of information from them at all about getting a scholarship. So that was the first time, and we went down to the bakery, and I was gladly assigned a scholarship.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, just out of the blue. I said, "Oh my God!" I didn't,
Unbelievable.
I'd had some visitors from some of the state colleges.
Uh-huh.
They come up and talk to a lot of the players from both schools. They bring us down to the hotel and the conference room, and they would discuss coming to their school and play.
But did anybody get you to the side and say, we're going to offer you a scholarship, some money to go to school at any of these schools?
No, they didn't. They said they couldn't afford to give scholarships at that time.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they did or not, but that's what they said.
Wow. And then Nebraska just comes in and boom, off to a scholarship.
Yeah. I'd probably still be in O'Neill working someplace. Well, that wouldn't be a bad situation anyway.
But the one thing, your former coach, Coach Jennings, I'm telling, I've been back, looked through everything. The man could recruit. He could find football players. Am I right, Larry? That's
right. Yeah, that's what Devaney said. He says, I didn't have any trouble with the athletic ability of the players because he said he did a good job recruiting.
Yes. It's amazing. Now, recruiting, you came in 59, Bob Brown, Lloyd Voss, Claridge. Great running backs, Thunder Thornton. All these guys were there.
And a lot of Nebraska running backs too came in at that time. Bob Hahn was there.
Right. Clint McCoolin.
Clint McCoolin, yeah.
Yeah, and who was Warren Powers was there, wasn't he? Oh, Warren.
Yes, he was a year ahead of me.
Yeah. Wow.
And he came from New Jersey.
Oh, was Warren from Jersey? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. All right, you show up in 1959, full scholarship. Did they even give you a helmet back then? They didn't give me much one. I mean, it was so bad. How about the equipment back then?
The equipment was okay. I did make a little poof one day and I asked the equipment manager, I says, after I got my equipment, I says, what about rib pads? And he said, oh, those are coming later. I never did get them.
Oh, no, heavens, no. Now
Well, we wore them in high school because, we didn't know how to block. We were taught how to cross block and that type of situation.
Yep.
And we needed to protect our ribs.
Yep.
So that's how I said I needed rib pads. But
So you're coming in, you're in 8-man football, and you're coming into the big time. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Well, I had a little bit of a cluing to that when I played in the Shrine Bowl.
Yes.
And we played 11-man there, of course. So it wasn't much difference than 8-man. It was just blocking, tackling,
Right.
running, catching. You just had 2 more linemen, and that was the only difference. So
That's true.
it really wasn't no big change.
Uh-huh. Now, you played both ways in high school, receiver
Yes.
and the one on defense.
Yes. I started out playing defensive end for first 3 years. And then the last year, my high school coach, Don Templemeyer,
Mm-hmm.
put me at middle linebacker.
Oh, all right.
And that was a great time. I could go both sides of the line, and I was in about every play, and
Yep.
I really enjoyed that. So
Yep.
had a lot of fun there.
You bet. Best position to play, linebacker. I got
Yeah.
it right. Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
we played a 5-man line at Nebraska with Devaney and Jennings. So the defensive end was almost like a linebacker as well.
Yes.
We played defensive pass and also took care of the running plays as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, you come as a freshman. They had you back then. You had to go both ways. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, you're out there. Plus, didn't you have to go specialty teams also?
Yes, we did. Actually, with Jennings, the first 2 years, that rule wasn't in play. We only played one way until I think it was 62 that they made the rule that you had to play both ways. And that was only for 2 or 3 years.
Whoa.
Which was kind of a silly rule, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know, but wow. I mean, you never come off the field.
Well, we during the Jennings era, the first team never come off the field for the first quarter and a half.
Okay.
And then the second team went in for the second part of the second quarter, and then the same thing in the second half. So basically, the first team was very tired towards the end of the game.
I can imagine.
But Devaney says you're playing halfway. Each team was playing half the quarter, and that was it. You get off the field.
Isn't that something? Yeah, made a lot of difference, didn't it?
Well, yeah, and also the practices were different too because we weren't tired out when it came time for the game.
Now, talk about practices with Coach Jennings, and then here comes Coach Devaney. What were the differences?
Well, the difference was most of the coaches were military type people.
Uh-huh.
You did it one way and that was it, yelling and screaming, although Jennings didn't scream much, but he did get upset. But it was like all those coaches during that time were military type people, and you did a lot of work. It wasn't much fun to play. Mm-hmm. And come game time, a lot of guys were playing injured.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it was then too.
Yeah, but still, like back then, you guys practice, and on Thursday you're still hitting, aren't you? I mean,
yes, yeah, we were scrimmaging Thursdays.
Yes,
and I remember a lot of times. My second year, I was on the scout squad, and we were playing under the lights next to the Coliseum. And it was very ridiculous. You started out practice not being very energetic because you knew it was going to be a long practice and you wanted to save yourself.
Wow. That. I mean, if these young men today knew what you guys went through, they wouldn't be whining and crying like they do nowadays.
Well, they probably wouldn't stand for the fact that they were practicing for over 2 hours.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
They would revolt.
Yeah. Well, when Coach Devaney came in, that was big time for you guys. Everything changed, didn't it? The practices, everything.
Yeah, it changed to right from the beginning when he came in and gave his first speeches and said they heard about a lot of the things that had happened before, and they kept two coaches from the Jennings era, Fisher and Kelly.
Yes,
and that was a good thing too because they were good coaches, but I guess they told Devaney what happened before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and I've talked to the former coaches. I've talked to the guys that played the same time you did, and they all said it was a blessing when Coach Devaney came in. Everything changed.
Well, all Devaney asked for was that you worked hard all during practice, and we would stop in an hour and a half. And they said that was it. And of course, you didn't have much incentive to give, because if you didn't do it right the first 3 times, you went down to the second or third or fourth team, and everybody else moved up.
Yep.
So that was your incentive. Do it right the first time, or you were gone.
When I came in there, that was the same thing with Coach Devaney. You better do it right, and if not, we have somebody that will do it for you.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, he told us that every fall camp. Yeah, tighten it up, boys.
Very good incentive.
Yeah, definitely. You worked an hour and a half. You're right. An hour and a half, and you're done. That's max.
Yeah.
Max. And with us, we didn't scrimmage on Thursdays like you guys did.
No.
We might have had an hour practice in paths, just going through things. Friday was a little walk-on, and then you play ball. So
we had Mondays. The guys who didn't play in the games on Mondays would scrimmage the freshman team and have scrimmage that way. And then Tuesday was designed for contact with the first and second team, and Wednesdays was a little bit of team group, specialty groups, and then that was it for the hitting.
Yep, and that's same with us. Just what you said.
Yeah.
And we were fresh going into a game. That's
that's right.
Yeah, golly, it's amazing looking back. And I had coaches like Coach Kiffin, Coach Powers, John Melton. Those guys were on defense with me, and we had such a good time. And because we didn't have a D coordinator, but all three of them just worked together. Nobody was assigned the defensive coordinator. Coach Melton was a linebacker coach. Coach Kiffin was a D-line coach. Coach Powers, defensive back coach. That was it. Yeah.
Well, everybody had their assignment, and you did your assignment, or like you say, next guy moved up, and he did the assignment.
Wow. I've got your records from 1961, 1962, and 1963. That 61 team, you went 3-6-1. That had to be a tough season.
Yeah, it was. Well, we had some bad weather that we played in too. I remember the Colorado game; they had to shovel off about 6 to 8 inches of snow off the field, and the sidelines were just mud, and it was just muddy.
Well, Lair, sounds like you're whining here a little bit, Lair. Didn't the other team have the same thing going on?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you're trying.
No excuses, Lair.
No excuses on this.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, but that was a tough year for you guys. 3-6-1 and 61. Yeah, yeah, and that's
Like I say, a lot of the guys were hurting, and I was redshirted my second year there in 1960, and it got to the point where they almost had to put me into the game one time because a lot of the ends were getting hurt.
Yes,
on defense particularly.
Wow.
But it was just unbelievable that the injuries that we were getting.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to all teams, but some teams have more than others. So that makes a big difference, doesn't it? When your players are in there. Wow, 61. 62, I think you probably started creating a smile in 62 with a 9-2 record.
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
We had, we lost to Oklahoma and I think Missouri at the end of the season. And of course, we were invited to go to that Gotham Bowl game. And it didn't matter if we were going to go to New York on December 16th and play in the cold. We just wanted to go and play again to make up for that game we lost to Oklahoma.
Yep. Now, going to the Gotham Bowl, did you guys take a train?
No, we flew.
You flew. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We had to wait in the airport for about a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
You probably know that story too.
Yeah. But the Gotham Bowl, you beat Miami 36-34, nasty, cold. I had heard you might have had, a couple thousand people in the stands, maybe?
Yeah, probably that was, 2,000 or 3,000 people,
Wow.
And it was played in Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
But the ground was frozen, and of course we couldn't wear cleats. So the equipment managers had to go downtown, and I don't know where they found 200 or 300 pairs of shoes, but running shoes, basically, tennis shoes, and that's what we played on.
Wow.
We didn't seem to slip that much with them, but and the next day the Giants and I forget who they played, but they played the next day, and they were wearing their cleats, but it was cold. It was cold.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice it during the game, but afterwards it was cold.
Well, sure. It had to have been in New York. Oh, my goodness, in the wintertime. And that's 62. Now, 63, you're a senior. You're a receiver. Were you starting at DN also?
Yeah, but play both ways. Both left defensive end and left offensive end.
Yeah. Now,
so we didn't pass that much. So the ends, particularly the tight ends, they didn't receive very many passes. I think I had 9 passes in the 2 years that I was there.
Well, let's see here. I'm looking at it, Lair. Let's see, receiving. You had 5 passes in 62, and you had 9 receptions in 63.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And didn't in 60.
I had one of those on defense.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. Yeah, there you go. Weren't you scored the first points for Coach Devaney in 62? Am I right?
62, yeah. That was right, yeah.
Points.
Yeah, the first points. Ironically, it was the second team in the second half of the first quarter that scored. And it was just a play straight down the center of the field. John Feynman threw the pass.
Yep.
And luckily, I only had about 30 yards to go and scored.
Yeah.
Wow. But I didn't realize that was the first points that we had scored into Devaney's era. Wow. Otherwise, I would have probably done a little bit more of an end zone dance or something. And
I don't think you'd have got away with that. I know Coach Devaney.
No, nobody ever danced in the end zone. We'd been in the end zone before, so
Bingo.
It's no big deal.
Yep. Yeah, show them you've been there. That's exactly the
that's right.
Yeah. Like you said, If you get, Coach Devaney told us every year, he get us before the season, if you ever get a 15-yard penalty, you won't play for me again.
That's right.
A cheap shot or any of this, I guarantee you. So don't try me, he said.
That's right.
Yep. No.
No, he didn't like it either.
No. I mean, that 15 yards, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go 63. You guys, you were one game probably away from winning a national championship. 10-1.
Probably, that one win that hurt us. Although Nebraska had never been above ranked number 5, so it was hard to tell if they would have gave us a national championship at that time. But being undefeated, probably would have meant something too.
Big time. You get beat by Air Force. How did that happen?
I think, in my estimation, we kind of underestimated.
Okay. Yep.
Because they were very light.
Yes.
They didn't have any big linemen.
Nope.
But being light, they were very fast.
Yes.
So the quarterback, they always ran their plays outside. They knew that they couldn't go up the middle very much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was off tackle, off end, and a lot of sweeps.
Wow.
And quick passes that also hurt us. So I think it was just the fact that we got into the second half, we realized that we had better start playing, but it was kind of too late then, I guess.
Wow. Then you go to the bowl game and you play Auburn. You beat Auburn.
Yes.
Now, Auburn, if I'm right, they were rated 4th in the nation when you guys beat them 13-7. And
yes.
I mean, that had
I didn't realize what rank they were.
I guess they were ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golly.
Well, of course, we hadn't heard much about Auburn either. We knew they were in Alabama, so we always kept hearing about the Crimson and Tide there, the University of Alabama. And so we hadn't heard much about them.
I agree. But Auburn, I mean, golly. I'm sure they're rated 4th. You guys are rated 5th. I still think if you hadn't, stepped that bad step with Air Force, you had a shot at number 1. You
I
really
think so.
did.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the records of the other teams that were ahead of us. I think Texas won the national championship, but I'm not sure what record they had either.
Right.
They might have lost a game somewhere in there.
That could be also. And all I know is, people, they always talk, the 71 team started the Nebraska tradition. That's bull. That is bull. It went back to the 50s, the 60s. You guys got it rolling. 62, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, holy smokes. That and the guys in the 40s and 50s, those are the men that did it all you guys.
Yeah, there were some good teams in the 40s and 50s. They were far and few between, but they had some good teams there too, some good players.
Yep. A lot of farm boys. When got them farm boys?
Well, that's right. Yeah, they were very keen on playing for Nebraska.
Yep.
And we had a lot of walk-ons and partial scholarships of guys from small town Nebraska as well.
Yeah. I mean, in my day too, the walk-ons, the guys, farm kids from Kearney and out west, and I'm North Omaha. I've never seen a pig or a cow in my life, and here these guys are inviting me out to their farms. I go, okie dokie. Yeah.
Well, I was raised on a farm too.
Yes. Yep.
My first 8 years I was on a farm. We didn't have electricity or running water.
Yeah. Isn't that
So,
something?
so we were way out there in the urban
Yes.
country.
Yeah, that's amazing. See, there again, that's where they grow them tough and nasty and get after it. I thought that was great.
Now, that's what Devaney always said. He recruited the guy who was pulling the plow, not pushing it.
Yes. Barry Alvarez said, he said, when I went to Wisconsin, I went up to farm country, and I'd go get the guys that baled hay and drank beer. He said, they make for the best football players. I go, okay.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Okay, you finish your career at Nebraska, then you go up and play in Canada. How was that?
Well, again, I had seen one Canadian football game in 1962. I was helping somebody move, and they had the ABC on. They were showing the game, and it was the famous Fog Bowl game, the Grey Cup game at that time.
Ooh, yep.
And I never had even heard about the Canadian Football League until then. And then the next year, I got a call from two coaches up in the CFL team, and they both asked if I wanted to play Canadian football. And of course, I said yes. So that was their way of drafting guys.
Yeah.
They put your name on their negotiating list, and then they would ask you to play.
Yeah.
So eventually, I came up with Montreal and played the first year. I pulled a leg muscle halfway through the season, and never did heal up properly, so I didn't finish the season. But the next year, I played in '65 and played the whole season.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But our coach wasn't doing very well. He wasn't winning many games, so he was fired. So Daryl Mudra, I don't know if you know him.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
He came from Nebraska, and he came up to be the head coach.
Yes.
And, of course, he wanted to change a lot of the teams and players and so forth. So I played only 3 games then, and then I went down to Hamilton for a while.
Hamilton.
Same thing.
Yep. Wow. Now, I don't know. I'm going to ask you. Now, my rookie year, I went to New England. I was a free agent. I got $15,000. Canada offered me $18,000 to go there, but I stayed with New England. I can imagine, would they give you $1.50 for playing in Canada? That?
Well, it was a yearly salary. I was getting as much as I would be if I was teaching in Nebraska. So it was $8,000.
$8,000.
Yeah.
You can't.
And the next year I got a raise to $9,000.
Wow! All right.
Yeah. And at that time, the Canadian players were not being paid very much. They were getting about half that.
Yep.
But they were allowed to work full time during the season.
Uh-huh.
So our practices were like at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yes.
And no meetings either.
Just couldn't do it. Didn't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the American players who played up here at that time, they would come in and help the coaches do scout work.
Okay.
Because there was only 3 coaches. There was the head coach, offensive coach, and the defensive coach. And that was it for coaches.
Wow.
So a lot of the players, even myself, I'd come in and would review films, and I would chart all the passing plays, and somebody else would come in and chart all the running plays.
Wow.
And then we'd go out into practice, and we'd run those plays against the defense or offense. And that was it for the coaching part.
Isn't that something? Now you have 10, 12, 14 specialists do that. I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Yeah, the 3 coaches did everything.
Yeah.
Special teams and all that business.
Yeah.
Of course, there wasn't much coaching on special teams. You'd punch the ball and run down. The defense at that time were not allowed to block for the receiver.
That's right.
Until years later.
Yep.
But that was it. And then kickoff, you kick the ball down and you run down and tackle the guy.
Yeah.
So that was the play.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game, isn't it? Run down and tackle the guy.
Well, like I say, it was 12-man football up here, one extra receiver.
Yeah.
But it was still blocking and tackling.
Sure.
So there was, not much difference.
Wow. And you never left Canada. You didn't want to come
Well, I
back.
got a teaching job. I think it was a second or third year. I got a teaching job, and I was supposed to go back down to Hamilton the next year after I was there, but I'd got a teaching job, and then the Continental League had started up in Montreal as well. So they had a team here, and so when I left Hamilton, I come back and I played for the Continental League, and I played with them for 2 years.
Wow.
And they were all American players, American citizen, and we played up and down the East Coast. And there was a league in the Midwest Coast. I think Omaha had one. And then there was a league out in the West Coast through California and that area. And we were playing every year until the ABC was offered Monday Night Football by the NFL. And ABC accepted the invitation to televise Monday Night Football. But the NFL said, well, okay, but you have to give up that Continental League. So they dropped us within about 2/3 of the season. Whoa. And we didn't have any more money to pay the players, so the league folded up.
Yeah. Omaha team was the Omaha Mustangs.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was invited to play there after my senior year as well.
Yes.
But I'd come up to Montreal, so I didn't get a chance to play with them.
Yeah, well, 8,000, I think those guys were getting 200 a game or something like that. So, it's best go to
paid by game, huh?
Yeah, that's what it was. Paid by
that's
game.
Right, yeah.
Not much. Just you receivers, you quarterbacks, and you running backs. All the glory guys. You got the extra $25. Yep.
There was a few teams from the Continental League that was came into the NFL too, so they were looking to pick up a few extra players and a few extra teams from that.
Wow.
Our league was more of a farm team for the NFL too, because we had a couple of guys come in from Green Bay Packers and get a little more playing experience per se. And so that's where we got a lot of our players from too.
That's true. They were feeder teams for the NFL, weren't they?
That's right.
Yes, indeed. All of them were. That was great. Well, Larry, this has been amazing. I got to see you. I hope I get to meet with you. I don't know if you smoke cigars or drink scotch, but I'm paying for it.
Well, actually, I don't smoke and I don't drink scotch.
Well, I'll buy what you drink, Larry. I'll buy what you drink.
It's my privilege to sit here and talk to you, and really enjoy your programs that you have, and and appreciate what you're doing for the athletes that are not well.
It's all of us that are doing, not me. Yeah. All of us are. We're all in this together. Speaking of that, what kind of injuries do you have from football? Quickly.
I had a bone spur on my arm.
Okay.
From my bicep, because playing defensive ends, you'd have pulling guards coming out or halfbacks coming at you, and they'd stick out an elbow and hit you in that spot there. So I ended up putting pads on my arm to eliminate that. My last year of playing for the Continental League, I went out for a pass, jumped up, and was hit by a defensive back and cracked 3 ribs.
There you go. Yep.
So that was the worst injury I had, and I missed the last 2 games of that season too, before they canceled the rest of it.
Wow.
But other than that, I had sprained ankles.
Sure.
It was about the worst injury I had, and all these sprained ankles happened during spring training. So I never did play in a red and white or play in the alumni game.
Oh,
until my senior year. And then Devaney came, and we played the red and white game.
Yeah, I'll be darned. So you're really lucky that you didn't get a lot of injuries playing.
I don't have any knee problems.
Great.
No knee problems. I don't have any back problems. No problems at all.
Wow.
A couple of bumps and bruises, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, Coach Devaney never gave me a helmet to play with, so I do have a little mental problem here. So, yeah.
Well, I heard you hit too many quarterbacks
only
in practice.
Only that when they weren't looking. That's the best way to get them. I appreciate this, Larry. This has been great. Are you going to get back to a game this year at all?
Probably not this year.
Okay.
I want to get back eventually
Yes.
To some kind of a reunion. And
Bingo.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
And meet you personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'll have what you drink with me. So, you bet.
Very good. Thank you very much.
All right. I appreciate this. Thank you for your time, Larry, and hope to see you soon.
This has been Nebraska Greats, a weekly podcast serving the Nebraska Greats Foundation. You can find each episode on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Please give generously to serve Nebraska's former sports heroes in need at negreats.org. And be sure to follow the Any Greats on Facebook and Twitter.